What if everything you know about the origins of ancient Egypt is wrong? What if the true beginning wasn't written in stone, but buried in silence, hidden beneath sand, shadow, and forgotten memory? For thousands of years, the world believed that Egypt began with the pyramids, with the great kings, with the monuments that defy time. But the truth, the real truth, begins long before any stone was lifted, long before any pharaoh wore a crown, long before the Nile became the spine of a rising empire. Tonight, we return to a moment the world has forgotten, a moment that changed everything, a moment where Egypt was not yet Egypt. Imagine the Nile, more than 5,000 years ago. Forget the pyramids, the temples, the golden masks you've seen in museums. Picture a world without them, just scattered tribes living along the riverbanks. They are hunters, farmers, fishermen living and dying by the rhythm of the water. They have no kings to bow to, no single flag to follow, no written language to record their history. All they have are symbols carved into rock, myths whispered around fires, and the great, life-giving, yet unpredictable river to guide them. This is a land of many peoples, many gods, and many conflicts, a land of potential, simmering just below the surface. For centuries, historians and archaeologists have searched for the precise moment when this collection of communities became a civilization. When did Egypt become Egypt? Was it with the building of the first pyramid at Saqqara? Was it with the formal establishment of the first dynasty? These are all monumental moments, yes, but they aren't the beginning. They are the consequences of a beginning that lies deeper, older, hidden beneath layers of time and sand. To find the real origin story, we must journey back to a world before pharaohs, before hieroglyphs filled temple walls, before Egypt even had a name. We have to go back to a time of chaos, where the annual flood of the Nile could mean feast or famine, where local chieftains fought for control of precious territory, and where the gods seemed wild and untamed. But even in this chaos, a new idea was taking root. It was a radical idea for its time. The idea of unity, the idea of order over chaos, the idea of a single, unified nation. But ideas alone do not build civilizations. Ideas need a catalyst, a spark. They need a leader, a force of will powerful enough to bend the arc of history and turn chaos into destiny. And that force, that spark, came in the form of one man. A man whose name would echo across millennia, even as his story became shrouded in myth. A man who would take two divided lands and forge them into one. A man who would become the very first king of the very first dynasty. His name is Narmer. Before Narmer, the land we now call Egypt was split in two. There was Lower Egypt in the north, the fertile Nile Delta, a lush, green triangle of land opening out to the Mediterranean Sea. And there was Upper Egypt in the south, a narrow, winding valley flanked by harsh desert cliffs and rocky terrain. These were two distinct lands with two different cultures, two sets of gods, two identities. They were separated by geography, by belief, and by generations of conflict. The people of the Delta were the Red Crown, the Deshret. The people of the valley were the White Crown, the Hedjet. For as long as anyone could remember, they were separate. But Narmer, a powerful ruler from the south, from Upper Egypt, saw something that others did not. He looked at the divided landscape and envisioned a future where the two lands could become one. He saw a future where the Nile would not be a border that divided, but a superhighway that united. He dreamed of a nation before the concept of a nation truly existed. But who was this man really? Was he a brutal conqueror, a visionary diplomat, a divinely inspired leader? The fragments of evidence we have suggest he was all of them. He rose from the south, from the city of Nekhen, carrying with him the ambition of his ancestors to push north. He fought battles that reshaped the map of the ancient world. He forged alliances that changed the course of history. And he created an image of power so potent that it would define royalty for the next 3,000 years. The most famous piece of evidence we have is the Narmer palette, a stunning piece of carved siltstone discovered over a century ago. On it, we see Narmer, larger than life, wearing the white crown of the south as he prepares to smite an enemy. This is the image of the warrior king, the conqueror. But turn the palette over, and you see something extraordinary. You see Narmer now wearing the red crown of the north, surveying his victory, and at the very top of the palette, on both sides, his name is written in some of the earliest hieroglyphs ever discovered. But the most powerful image of all might be on the reverse side. Two mythical, long-necked beasts, their necks intertwined in a perfect circle, held in check by two handlers. It's a symbol of harmony, of two wild forces brought together in a controlled, unified whole. This wasn't just propaganda, it was a mission statement. Narmer wasn't just conquering the north, he was uniting the two lands. The white crown and the red crown would be combined into the Shet, the double crown of a unified Egypt. Two lands, two cultures, two identities, brought together under one king. Narmer did not just rule Egypt, he created Egypt. But the story doesn't end with the political victory. The moment Narmer united the two lands, something profound happened, something spiritual. The act of unification wasn't just seen as a human achievement, it was seen as a divine one, a cosmic event. Symbols that had been local and tribal suddenly gained national power. Myths became the foundation of reality. The idea of Ma'at, of divine order, truth, balance, and justice became the central pillar of the new state. The king, the pharaoh, was now responsible for maintaining Ma'at on earth, for keeping the forces of chaos at bay. The Eye of Horus, a powerful symbol of protection, well-being, and divine royal power, became the spiritual heartbeat of this new kingdom. The people came to believe that this new unity was a reflection of the cosmic order. It was the triumph of order over chaos, of light over darkness, of the structured world over the formless void. This single belief, born from Narmer's unification, would shape everything that came after. It's why the pyramids were built with such geometric perfection, reaching for the heavens to connect the pharaoh with the gods. It's why the temples were designed as models of the cosmos. It's why the gods, the writing, the art, and the very identity of ancient Egypt were all interwoven with this core idea of balance and unity. All of it, every great pharaoh, every magnificent tomb, every sacred text began with this one foundational moment, the true beginning. So tonight, we journey back to that forgotten dawn, to the spark that ignited one of the world's greatest civilizations, to the man who turned scattered tribes into a unified nation, to the moment where myth, power, and destiny collided to give birth to a legend. This is not just history, this is the birth of an identity, the birth of order, the birth of Egypt itself. Welcome to Episode 0, The True Beginning. Thanks for watching, and if you want to uncover more forgotten stories from history, make sure to subscribe.